Good afternoon and welcome to another video from Barrett channel. Today I'm having a stroll around a park which is quite close to where I live here in Shenzhen. Beautiful park, and we have a great sports stadium very close by. Today I want to talk about my view about the USA trade war and Huawei, and how I think the Western narrative on this is very wrong. So let's start. About 18 months ago, America started a trade war with China over a number of issues. Not really important what those issues are. During the time of the escalation of this trade war, America put Huawei, which Huawei is a huge telecommunications company here in China. They not only make network infrastructure to run mobile phone networks, but they're a huge brand. They're a huge company that make mobile phones. Currently they're the market leader in China, and up until what the USA recently did, they were one of the fastest growing brands in Europe. As far as I'm aware, they've never been on sale in the USA. Now, they were put on a kind of blacklist in the USA, which technically stopped American companies, American technology companies, from trading with Huawei. Now, this was posed as the reason for this was that they apparently posed a big security risk to the USA. But really, I really don't buy that. I see it as that the American administration, Trump, the president of the administration, just had a bit of a bee in his bonnet, and he wanted some leverage in his trade war with China. So maybe he thought about hitting one of the sort of like a jewel in the crown of China's industry. Now, the consequences of this are that, you know, America and many other people thought that it would be an absolute nightmare for Huawei, and I guess it's not been the best move for them. However, being a Chinese company, Ren Zhengfei, the CEO of Huawei, has had much tougher times than this. You know, he's a quite elderly man now. I guess he's in his 70s, but he knows tough times and he knows how to deal with them. And another thing that China are very, very good at, they will play the long game. You know, many Chinese are willing to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. But unfortunately, in this trade war, America need to play the short game, because old President Donald Trump is up for re-election next year. So I suggest he's kind of eager to get a deal done, so he can, you know, whoop and holler and shout hurrah to all the farmers who is relying on their votes. But anyway, back to the Huawei situation. Is it really a good idea that America have done what they've done? Because one of the big consequences of this is that Huawei has not been able to ship phones in Europe. You know, it really doesn't matter about its home market. The reason that is in Europe, there's a huge reliance on Google services, and as a result of the ban, Huawei have not been able to license the Android operating system and key components of that operating system from Google. Which means that if you buy a Huawei phone in Europe without these Google services, it's pretty useless, because, you know, everybody uses those Google services in Europe. However, in China that really doesn't matter, because they don't really use Google here. They have their own much bigger and, you know, in many cases sometimes better applications Weibo, WeChat, Alipay, etc., etc. So where America are thinking they're really trying to harm Huawei, and that it will become a big bargaining chip in the trade negotiations, because let's face it, there's no security risk. America have not ever turned up one scrap of evidence to support anything they've said about security risks with Huawei. So to me, it's plainly obvious that they've used it just as a bargaining chip, or thought they were using it as a bargaining chip in these trade negotiations. But it seems like China haven't sort of taken the bait like they thought they would. However, so the upshot of this is that what will happen, so Huawei can't have these things. So what will happen is they will go ahead and develop their own. So I think to some extent America are shooting themselves in the foot, because all it will do is encourage Huawei and other Chinese companies to develop their own technology much quicker than they would have done, because they don't want to be reliant. They can't trust the US. They don't want to be reliant on US technology anymore, and I think the faster they can get away from that reliance on US technology for them, they will do. I think also you'll have other countries around the world, Europe, Japan, they will be looking at what's happened here, the way Trump has used this company by cutting off its supply lines to use as a bargaining chip. They will be looking at it and thinking, oh, that could be us next. Do we want to risk that? So I'm sure there'll be many other countries around the world who will be questioning their reliance on American technology. And one other thing, take this Android operating system. So if Huawei can't get access to this anytime soon, okay, they've already lost out on a huge amount of sales in Europe of their latest flagship phone, the Mate 30. They're not going to let that situation continue. They will be busy developing their own operating system. There was rumours that they had an operating system called Huawei, but I believe that is not for phones. But you really think Huawei will be naive enough to not already be working on an alternative system to the Android operating system? Now, I'll leave you with one thought. So, Huawei, let's say Huawei in the next 12 to 18 months develop their own operating system for mobile phones. They have such a large footprint of mobile phone sales around Asia that really their new operating system, and maybe it will even be better than Android, who knows, it will be developed as a brand new product from the ground up maybe, so it could easily be better than Android. Just think that because they have such a large footprint around Asia for their mobile phone sales, that could become an operating system to challenge Google, and Android could then even become a minority operating system. So by that happening, America lose control over the standards, over the technology. Ren Zhengfei, the CEO, has already offered to license all their 5G to American companies so they can develop it and compete with Huawei and sell into their home market. But as far as I'm aware, that hasn't been taken up by anyone yet. I really find that very, very strange. In my opinion, there really isn't any additional security threat to Huawei equipment than anybody else's equipment. The bottom line is that if people want to hack into equipment, they will. Countries all around the world are trying to hack into each other's systems to gain technological advantage. China are not the only ones, believe me. Anyway, I hope this video has given you some food for thought. It'd be great to hear your comments on this topic. Please comment down below. As always, if you like the video, please subscribe. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, because that really helps us. And if you want to be notified straight away of any new videos that we've got coming up, ring that bell. But for now, as always, take care.